The government has stated that it was necessary to increase the security presence throughout the country during the recently concluded presidential elections. Speaking at the Uganda Media Center in Kampala, Information Minister Dr. Baryomunsi reiterated that due to alerts from security intelligence bodies, deployment had to be mounted to avert criminal plans by some political actors.
There are people that wanted to cause violence simply because the candidates that they supported lost the elections. These were largely spontaneous reactions and driven by the shock of losing the elections. However, there was a second category that involved criminal gangs who were mobilized by their leaders to turn this election period as a launching time to cause civil unrest in the country. As government, we are resolute not to allow criminal gangs to destabilize our country under the guise of elections.
On the continued police presence at the home of Robert Chagulanyi, also known as Bobi Wine, Baryomunsi asserted that it is for monitoring purposes and not an arrest plot against him.
Security has deployed at his home is basically for monitoring purposes because there is adequate intelligence information regarding what was being planned to cause insurrection. But nobody has chased him from his home. Like I have said before, he is free to be in his home provided he doesn't engage in criminal activities. He's free like any other candidate. There were 8 candidates. The others are at home and living peacefully. Like I have stated before, he's just trying to create a story where there is none. He is not wanted by the state. He is not wanted by police or any state institution. If he has chosen to go into hiding, that is his decision. And we are not bothered.
With the fact that millions of shillings would be lost if the internet was switched off at the back of their minds, the minister remarked that it was an action that had to be taken by the government. President Yoweri Museveni has said that 70% of Ugandans are now participating in the money economy, a milestone he attributed to 4 decades of national resistance movement rule and a series of state-led wealth creation programs aimed at lifting households out of subsistence livelihood.
From the colonial times, we had a small group of our people in the money economy. At independence, the figure they gave me were 9% in the money economy. Now, when we came after stabilizing the country, and when we checked, we found that still a small number of the people were in the money economy. The majority were outside the money economy. That's why we started all these programs in Tandikwa, NADZ, all those programs, where we would give either grants or soft loans to families to get into the money economy. But when I checked in 2013, only 32% of the people of the homes were in the money economy, 68% were outside the money economy. That's when we involved the army, and the army went around distributing seedlings. And when we checked, 61% were in the money economy. When we checked in 2019, 61% were in the money economy, but 39% were still outside the money economy.
Speaking at the 40th Liberation Day celebrations held at the Kololo National Ceremonial Grounds on January 26, 2026, President Museveni said Uganda's economic transformation had progressed steadily from post-war recovery to diversification, value addition, and most recently, the emergency of a knowledge-based economy. The celebrations, held under the theme Tribute to the Patriots Who Ushered into a Fundamental Change, came just days after President Museveni secured another term in office in the recently concluded presidential elections, in which he was declared the winner with 71% of the vote. The death toll in a massive Indonesian landslide rose to 17 on Monday as rescuers used heavy equipment to search for dozens still missing days after heavy rain unleashed a torrent of mud. People gathered near the site in Java's West Bamdang region desperately awaiting news of their loved ones as rescuers who feared another landslide scoured the unstable area. The flow of soil and debris buried through the village of Parsilangu early on Saturday, barring residential areas and forcing dozens to evacuate their homes. Abdul Mohari, a spokesman for the National Disaster Agency, confirmed on Monday that at least 17 people were killed. The number of people missing was later revised down to around 46 from an earlier figure of 73. Local search and rescue head Adedeyan Pamana told a news conference.
New Vision TV. Stream smart, stream New Vision.